Hey everybody, it's Saline County Hardliners coming back at you again. Tonight we got a couple of guests with us. It's gonna be a good show. We got Brent Sharp back with us. He was here with us, I believe it was before Labor Day in late August, and about some problems he'd had, some Antifa problems, and at the governor's mansion during the situation there. And he is back with some more information. He is a local Saline County freelance journalist that has done a lot of courageous journalists we got around here, which we need more of. And we also have Mike Shnaekel here. We're going to have Mike Shnaekel in here, who's been on here several times, has his own show. He is chairman of the Hot Spring County Republican Committee and a veteran, and he's really active in the MAGA movement and a lot of what's going on. And then myself, Keith Kellum, and Kevan Bradshaw, co-host
I'm here.
Of this show. Brent, good to have you back.
Thanks for having me.
I think you've had a little action going on since late August here, and we're also gonna talk about Trump's executive order to I believe it's an executive order to label Antifa as a terrorist domestic terrorist organization, which is going to change the whole scenario of how we treat them. Which all four of us are tired of their BS, and things are changing in this country, folks. They're changing rapidly. I don't know what's going to happen. You know, we got foreign wars that are out there looming around. We've got the Charlie Kirk assassination, which I think has changed the tide of the MAGA movement. And they did nothing but amplify this situation. It's not kumbaya time. I'm sorry, because I don't see it changing. So, Brent, tell us about your latest adventures here.
Yeah, so I once again, they were having a rally down at the Broadway Bridge there in the little park right beside the bridge. Back at, I believe it was September 1st. So they had a Labor Day rally. Anyway, so I went down there.
Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day. And so I went down there to take pictures again. And I showed up, and as I'm walking, well, they recognized me this time. They started, and they had my name and everything. And so, hey, Brent, hey, how? So I was like, hey. And so, yeah, they had one of their guys walk up and tell me, well, we've got an order. You're not allowed to come film us or be here anymore. I was like, okay. And I just ignored him, kept going down there. And it's a public park that's down there at the foot of the bridge, and it's back there behind the Ron Robinson Center, between the Robinson Center and the river there. And and a couple of them, well, actually, there were several of them out there. Hey, this park is closed. Nobody can come in, and nobody can take pictures. Nobody can film. And
let me ask you one thing real quick.
Yeah.
Who was saying that? They were.
Yeah. All the 50501 people.
No public officials or
nothing. No. There were no public officials there.
Oh, okay.
And I did check later, and they have not been issued a single parade permit all year. They haven't even applied for one. Which, maybe if you had a parade permit and you were, blocking off, but they just showed up at the park and said, okay, the park's closed for everybody else has to leave. And it wasn't just, there was an older couple came through on bicycles, and they were like hassling them and jostling them and everything.
Did you tell them this is not Portland or Seattle?
I didn't even bring that up. I just kept, my thing was like, I'm not even going to argue. I'm not going to get into, I'm just going to keep taking my pictures, and just take video and take pictures. And I had a couple of friends who had set up behind and up above where they could video also. And so, a couple of them started getting really aggressive. Well, and this is what they do every time. They send one of the women over to really start things with you, because they really want you to hit a woman there. And then, because how it'll all go from there. And so she had a big flag and a flagpole. And so she actually whips the flag. So it goes around my face, and she got the flag on one hand and the flagpole on the other hand, and wraps them around my head like this. And
it's an American flag?
No. This is one of their flags.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember exactly what it was. It's just a big
Okay.
flag. And then about 4 of the guys then pile on and start trying to shove me over, and she's trying to trip me with the pole and everything. And my buddies are getting all this on video, so we got video of it. And then right as they're doing this, and all of a sudden, I hear this. One of them is coming in my face also with the bullhorn and turns on the siren and is trying to like hit me in the face with it. And this is another one of the women that doing that. And then right about then, LRPD pulls up. And so they all start to scatter then. And he got, but I point out one of them and he got her. And it was a female, the one who had the flag wrapped around my head. So he got her and got all of her information and getting information on some of the others now also. And so the police officer wrote it up as false imprisonment. And he actually did the report. He said, okay, what they're doing actually by restraining you like this against your will is false imprisonment. And so he wrote up as false imprisonment, and he also wrote it up as battery, both. Those are both on the report. So he got all of her information, and then, of course, that's on the police report. And I'm not going to talk about who it is now until we go further forward. But I did meet with the prosecutor's office on Monday and got them all the information. Got them video, got them pictures, everything. And so, and by the way, the officer also had them on his body cam. And another officer who came there after him also had some on body cam. And so they've got all that as well. I did a FOIA and got the body cams. And so the prosecutor has all that. Interesting thing about, so it was the woman who wrapped the flag around my head that was one actually caught initially and got all of her information. And so I just went ahead and pulled background on her. And it turns out she's got prior arrests here in the area for Schedule 1 and 2 drug possession, which that's hard drugs. Schedule 1, that's like, meth or something like that, or fentanyl. She's got priors for prostitution, for domestic battery, for interfering with government operations, and then she's got a few failure to appears also. So it's real interesting kind of people they have down there.
Real quality folks.
Yeah.
Well, with all you also went to. I've been under the weather. I wasn't able to go to a vigil, but you went to several vigils, didn't you? Or a couple of vigils?
I went to 3, yeah.
3 vigils?
Yeah.
And we're all, our hearts are out to Charlie Kirk. That was one of my bad days. I tell you what.
Yeah.
But he's gonna go down in history as one of the great conservative thinkers of our time. I think.
Yeah.
And also Christian conservative thinkers.
Yes.
And influencers. He's just he's just a special guy that was, to me, here for a purpose. It's definitely here for a purpose.
Right.
And I think it's just help try to save this country, from what we're in right now, which is terrible things. Tell us a little bit about these vigils that you went to. When Mike gets on here, we can have him put some input because he put one together, I believe, for the Sunday one at the Capitol.
Well, all right. I'm going to talk about. I'll let Mike talk about the Sunday one at the Capitol, and I went to the Saturday one at the Capitol also, and there were well over 1,000. I don't know how many. There were well over 1,000 people there, and it was impromptu. It was really good. I've got about 3 videos of different young men that I talked to there who were willing to go online and say why they were there and why it was important to them. And it was very positive, really uplifting for everybody there. There were about a dozen of the Antifa bunch who showed up and were across the street trying to heckle, but they were just drowned out. And there was a really strong Capitol Police presence.
That's not their odds. They don't like.
No.
They like to be 100 to 1, not
not the other way around. Definitely.
No, they can't handle that.
So,
well, Brent, you want me to play some of these videos?
Say again?
Oh, do you want me to play some of these videos?
Yeah, the young man in the red shirt is a good one there.
My name's Jordan. just here to pay my respects to a great man that really stood for a lot of wonderful things, you know, and stood for God most importantly. And yeah, I feel like you know, it's like losing a brother or a family member almost. You know, it's very strange, but it's very moving for sure. You know, it's nice to meet all these lovely people, but sadly under the wrong circumstances. But it's very moving. I'm just happy to be here. My name's Jordan.
The young man with the R.I.P. Charlie poster right here, you might want to get him.
Shot Charlie in the throat to silence his voice. It's our duty to carry on his message for him. Shot Charlie in the throat to silence his voice. It's our duty to carry on his message for him.
All right, and then the young man in the green shirt right here is also, yeah, right there.
Just here in support of the death of Charlie Kirk. I believe in Christ. I've been born again. He saves whomever comes to him if you repent and put your faith alone in him. And I didn't know a lot about Charlie, but from what I hear, he was an evangelical Christian, which is the true gospel. So put your faith and trust in Christ. Repent. He's the only Savior.
Amen. Amen.
And like I said, those are just some examples of a lot of the people that were there, but those were some who were, you know, willing to go on video and talk.
Are these some actual videos of the vigil?
Sure. This is at Malvern on Monday night. This is when they're getting set up at Malvern on Monday. And it wasn't even, there was still a lot more people came after this.
Beautiful.
Let me see.
Where is this? The Antifa guys at? Where was that at?
All right. All right. There's some different ones here. There's now the young lady there in the middle.
Nope.
There's the crazy-eyed woman, but yeah, that one right there.
Yeah.
That was at the federal courthouse in Little Rock, where they had a protest at the federal courthouse. The guy with the signs up that says "Justice for the Oppressed." Well, this guy was not. He was all right. Yeah, this guy was September 1st at the Broadway Bridge, and he's got this pack here, which looks like a shooting pack, and he's already. You can tell he's got the shooter's ear protection already in his ear. There, you can see him. He's already put those in his ear. So, you know, he was, I guess, getting ready for a gunfight.
So Antifa is alive. It's alive in Little Rock.
Yeah. And now these guys right here with the Justice for the Oppressed, he's wearing the Antifa gear plus the keffiyeh, and that was at the first No Kings protest, June 14th at the Broadway Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
So there is Antifa in Arkansas.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, it's not publicized a lot because we hadn't had the problems yet that, you know, your major cities have.
No, we don't have a large presence of them out here, but there is a presence here, and that's still too much.
Yeah, well, and I will say also that my church pastor talked to me on Sunday. Is that I guess from my webpage they had pulled some of the stuff I posted on there also, and found out where I go to church, and they had sent some threatening messages to the church also.
Really?
Which is, I will say, back in 2020, and this has not been publicized much, and definitely hasn't been followed up on. In 2020, when they had the protests, Antifa was involved here. They firebombed the building of the Lewis Street Church of Christ in Little Rock, and they
Really?
burned their building.
I didn't know about that.
No, and no one has ever. That was during their protests that they had their riots they had 5 years ago during the 2020, and no one has ever been arrested or held to account any way for that. And it was the same group. And so they firebombed that church building. And I know some of those. I've worshiped in that building. I know some of those people and the brethren there. And nothing ever came, nothing was ever done about it. And which is amazing because they talk about, the you on the right are so violent. Well, they actually came. This is a majority black, historically black congregation in downtown Little Rock,
Mm-hmm.
and they firebombed them. Now, normally, if you hear somebody firebomb a black church, the FBI is going to go into overdrive, and everybody else. Nothing happened with it ever.
Well, actually, conservative Christian black people, they target them more than they do anybody because they're not singing to the right tune as far as they're concerned. It hurts their, excuse me, it hurts their
narrative.
Narrative is what I'm trying to say. Yes.
Yeah, and the brethren at that church, I will tell you, I don't know that probably most of them vote Democrat.
But but that's fine. But
they're not. But they're not on board with the transgender thing, and that's where the violence is. The most of the violence is coming from.
The mental.
Yeah, because that's it's being pretty much unaccepted, and they're not liking it.
Right.
And it's phony. It's non-scientific, as they're always on board with this scientific crap. Right. And most of the mainstream media right now, what they have to say about Antifa since Charlie's assassination and before is, they're just rogue folks that are just believe in anti-fascism, which they don't because they're fascist, and they were actually communist, fascist, whatever. But they don't want to connect them to a bigger idea, not even idea, a bigger organization.
Right.
It's basically international. We know it's came out of World War II Germany originally, or from
it was
Russia, Soviet Russia,
right,
Bolshevik. During the Russian Revolution, it was the same basic organization, and to say they're not funded is being naive, because if you go to any of these major events, they're supplying them food. They don't buy those little black uniforms they wear. They're not buying any of this crap. It's being furnished. And that's what the government hopefully is going to go after. Go after their money, go after the head of the snake. So hopefully we're going to see them. I hope they're not just, when they've announced this lately, or when Trump announced it, I believe, yesterday?
Yeah.
I hope he treats it like he is illegal immigration and really goes after them, and they do what they got to do. Because, sure, a lot of people aren't going to like it. And you know what? That's tough. We don't care. It's like I don't care if Jimmy Kimmel's not on anymore. He's not funny anyway.
Yeah, I hope when he says he's going to designate them as a terror organization, what I hope, they are an international organization.
Yes.
They started to oversee. What I hope for is that he actually designates them an international terrorist organization, not just domestic, but an international terrorist organization. And that
they've referred to that, yeah.
And that would free him up to treat them like we do ISIS or Al Qaeda.
Yes. Because
order.
They're one of the biggest threats we have right now internally. I mean, they're bigger than people think. They're more well organized than people think. They really are. And they're not just fly by night. And we've let them get this. We've allowed it to come to this point, but by ignoring it.
Yeah, and they organize under some other names also. And they're active even like up in some areas of North Arkansas. You can look up the John Brown Gun Club. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I heard of it yesterday. I did hear of that on. I believe I was watching the Charlie Kirk show, and they were mentioning that.
Yeah, that is where they actually go out together and train, with rifles, and for like the shooter for Charlie. At any rate, and they have an active chapter up in North Arkansas.
I believe that.
And they were actually kicked out of one of the gun clubs there when they found out who they were. But
I hate to think. I mean, I hope this is wrong. This is my opinion. This isn't all over with yet. They're gonna.
Oh no, not by a long shot.
They're gonna. Unfortunately, before the end of the year, we're gonna see another major thing happen probably. Because the more you push back, the more they're going to push. The more you push them, the more they're going to push back on you. And if people who don't know Civil War history very well, John Brown was a big, very
he was an abolitionist,
but he was
radical. He was insane.
Radical militant type abolition. Well, he was killed, but.
John Brown would not have had any truck with these guys.
No. I'm not comparing it. I'm just saying that that's where they're getting their name and their,
Well, what's going on right now? A lot of major podcasters, a lot of people who know history. So what is currently what they claim is starting is what's called Bleeding Kansas, or what they like to call civil strife. Pretty much everyone is just getting all ramped up. We're divided down the middle. And everyone is just like, well, if you win, I have no rights. So I'm going to go ahead and say my little piece on this.
Go ahead.
History doesn't repeat. It rhymes. And if you look at how the Civil War started, what first happened was there was a divide on slavery and, non-slavery. And so our young nation was slowly growing out of its original boots. And so they were just adding state by state by state by state. And the issue was it was completely even in the beginning. And so what happened after that is every state had the opportunity to vote for slavery or non-slavery. And so what happened as they went, one more would get a side and then another would get a side. And they were just slowly competing to get more states in or more votes into Congress. So what ended up happening is as soon as, Texas and California came in, it swapped. There was they didn't have any control. The Democrats at the time didn't have any more control after that, and they lost the election. And so before that happened, everyone was going to these states. What would happen is a new state was about to vote to become a state, or whether it was free or slave, they would rush into these states, try to move in as fast as possible, and change the vote towards slavery or free state.
Because Kansas
so that was
not
where
a
all
state.
the riots. Yeah, that's where all these riots came in. That's where John Brown came in, and he started shooting up the place with all these people. He went to the prison and got all the guns and started trying to a slave revolt, pretty much.
And there was a lot of guerrilla warfare in Kansas during the Civil War, which Kansas was not even a state on either side, but it was a territory, and there was a lot of guerrilla warfare, Southern guerrilla, Confederate guerrilla warfare towards all this. And
back to my point on this, history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. What's going on right now? Right now in Texas, they just tried to redistrict, and about three other states have already threatened to redistrict, or actually in the process of. California said that they're going to try and redistrict, but I don't think their constitution is going to let them do it.
So they want to do it the other way. They want to try to get rid of all the Republican Congress.
That's what we're doing. That's exactly what we're doing. We're getting rid of all the Democrat ones, but the thing is, they actually have it in. They have it in their constitution. They have to have a nonpartisan commission do theirs, and that's part of their constitution.
Well, they've already rigged theirs because people in the Central Valley and people in California, places like that, they're not even represented. No.
Exactly. So like I said, just like the previous time when all the states were just coming in and changing from free to slave, we're coming in now and we're redistricting and kicking out all these Democrats. So it's coming to the point again where they're starting to realize we're losing. And so now they're coming to a desperate point where they're starting off with violence. And that's what happened with Charlie Kirk. And this is starting our civil strife period. Oh, where'd you go?
I'm here.
Okay.
All right, guys, got kind of talking. I tell you what, if they don't get a handle, if they don't stop putting up with this and not get a handle on it, if something, it's going to eventually, I saw somewhere someone said that either the government's going to handle this, or if somebody slips in and, if the government won't, society will. Unfortunately, I mean that's where we're at now, because this has been going on so long now. For the last since right before I would say since the Clinton in the 90s, this has been brewing and just slowly developing into. I mean, we're kind of in a point. I'm gonna say point of no return, but it's going to take a lot to remedy this. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose, and it's just. I think they're going to get nastier. I don't know what the end game of this is. I have no idea. I can't read the future, but I can see it's going to get worse before it gets better. I feel like.
My prediction is on our way up to the primaries and on our way up to the midterms, it's going to get more violent. It was how long was it after Charlie Kirk's death where they were all saying we need to calm down, and then all of a sudden after that, it's just guns blazing. Now they're just. They're not. They don't even care anymore. They don't even care anymore.
Yeah, because we've kind of been in the mode for the last 30 years of them doing what they want to do, burning Minneapolis, burning that town in Wisconsin with a young man that shot the guy. I don't remember his name now. Down in I don't remember the name of the town.
That was
about
the Al Rittenhouse in Kenosha.
Yeah, Kenosha. All this stuff's been happening, and Charlotte, and it's just they've been turning their head to it. They've just been saying, they've been trying to lay the blame on the conservatives, and they're just turning their head to it. It's like if this stuff had happened on the other side that's happening right now, my goodness, we'd be in a civil war.
Well, the thing is, if you
already.
declassify everything that they do as a political crime, since you get off. So Charlie Kirk not Charlie Kirk. What was his name? I keep forgetting that comedian's name who does all the prove me wrong thing, but he did a video this morning talking about Crowder, Louder with Crowder. He did a video saying that pretty much since a lot of these guys got off of their sentences because they couldn't prove it because they were all, dressed as Antifa and, crowd tactics. If you can't prove that one person did it because they all look like the other, then they aren't going to get charged. Since these people have been getting off their charges, they can't charge it as a crime. So that's one thing that they're, slipping on.
If they don't take care of it, it's going to get to where, we're going to be like United Kingdom is right now. United Kingdom is really, really on the verge of something major happening internally. They've let the Islamic community dictate their politics. And I'm going to say the terrorist Islamic community dictate their politics. They're arresting people for doing speech like we're doing because they're giving in to all that. And now people are sick of it. See, if you let something go long enough, people are going to just get sick of it. And they're going to decide, well, they're not doing anything about it. We'll do something about it. And that's where we're getting to. Like, God help us, if they were to assassinate Trump right now, it'd be over with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got over 30 arrests. Can y'all imagine?
I want y'all's opinion on that. If they were to do that, and God help them. I don't want that to happen. I'm just saying because he's always, it's possible. What do you think would happen at that point in time? I mean, look what happened with Charlie Kirk. Let on if you had a president like that, and both of them were there to sign, because they would love to do that. Because they do want to start it. They want to start a civil war. They really do.
They do. They don't want to start a civil war. They want a revolution. And that's the only way they can get a revolution is to. Oh, never mind. I'm about to.
Man, it's dangerous. going into the Civil War, the U.S. Civil War, 1860, 1861, both sides thought they were going to win in a cakewalk at the beginning. Both of them had legitimate reasons to think. The South did have better leaders, military leaders, and did have more of a martial culture. The North had more people on the industrial base, and both sides thought they would just walk across the other one. And that kind of thinking was part of what led to so much bloodshed. It's going to be easy. Anybody can start a war. Anybody can start a war. It takes wisdom to keep the peace. And so my prayer right now is for the safety of President Trump and all the rest of the members of his administration.
Yes.
Because every act of violence right now, whether it be against President Trump or anyone else in the administration, is sowing the wind. And eventually, you keep sowing the wind, you are going to reap the whirlwind. And so, but once again, that has to be, law enforcement has to get involved and make that happen, because we've got an element over there with Antifa, with the trans Antifa, where they've merged those two movements into one, and there is no reasoning. They are mentally unwell. They're mentally ill, and there's no reasoning and they are violent. The things that they do to themselves, the way they mutilate their own bodies, they're violent even against their own bodies. How do you expect them to be towards other people? And so law enforcement is going to have to actually finally step in and restrain them. And, I'm very cynical about some of our federal law enforcement right now.
Yeah. I mean,
You got me now, Kevin?
I got you now.
Yeah,
I was just pestering him, trying to get him back online.
Yeah, for some reason my microphone muted. And y'all hit some really good points there. And with Antifa and these organizations, what's happening right now is, and you kind of led into it, there's no repercussions for what they're doing. But I'll say this, across the United States and across the world, because I think London right now has had the largest Charlie Kirk vigil that there is. But here in the United States, this is where the problem's at right now. And this is conservative, liberal. The killing of Charlie Kirk has rallied the conservative base. And it not only rallied the conservative base, but it woke a lot of us up that's just been kind of watching, seeing what's going on, because you see all the traction happening now, on social media, news organizations, TV stations are getting rid of people. And, people are complaining, oh, well, they're, removing their First Amendment right, freedom of speech. No, the hate has got to stop from the liberal left. I mean, because it is just a constant. They're fascists. You got to take them off of the face of the planet. You've got to get rid of them. You've got to destroy them. And Charlie had a following like no one else. Charlie's following was a Christian-based faith following, not a conservative. I mean, there was liberals that followed him too. I mean, because you see a few of them, and I say conservative liberals when it comes to that. But our country is at a crossroads right now.
His following's doubled, I bet, since.
I'm going to say it's probably tenfold. I mean, because it is just the people are done right now. I mean, you killed a faith-based guy that gave everyone a platform. Not just people like us. He wasn't looking to talk to us because we agreed with 90% of what he said, 95% of what he said. He was looking to have a discussion with people, especially in college years where their minds are still malleable, and have that conversation with them about not only who God was, but the direction of the United States. And if we don't get back to what we were founded on,
Christian morality.
There you go. And I'm speechless with Charlie Kirk. And this one hit me like it's not ever hit me before. You know, I've lost people, I've lost friends, and man, Charlie has, and I didn't know him personally. I watched him online just like you guys have, and we've listened to him, you know, have all these debates and these speeches. You know, the guy wasn't a racist. The guy wasn't a Marxist. The guy was, if there was ever an equal opportunity guy, but he was going to tell you the truth. He was not going to sugarcoat it. He was going to tell you exactly what it was. Just you know, like racism. Well, Charlie was a racist. No, what Charlie said was the United States created racism by splitting social classes, and not only splitting social classes, but splitting people by the skin color. You know, and that is government created. That's not us created. Donald Trump did not create that. You know, because everything right now is what's Donald Trump's fight. The orange guy is out to destroy the United States. No, the orange guy is truly trying to save us right now. Charlie Kirk was a vessel that was trying to bring us back to Christ.
Well, there's been a lot of damage done in the last 30 years. A lot of damage through, you know, Obama, Biden years, and even the Clinton years were damaging. Even the Republican presidents in between, Bush's and things. There's been so much damage done to this country, you know, and it's like being in debt. You know, you get so far, you can't get out.
Well, and we're all three veterans. I mean, we served our country. We raised our right hand to support and defend the Constitution of the United States. And in that pledge, you state that I will follow the orders of those appointed over me and the President of the United States. We all done that, no matter who the president was, whether we agreed with them, whether we disagreed with them, we always have done that. Now it is, well, if Donald Trump's your president, you don't have to listen to him. If Donald Trump tells you to do something, you don't have to listen to him. That guy has more care for this country than any president I've seen since I've been alive, outside of Ronald Reagan. I mean, there's nobody that comes close outside of Ronald Reagan.
And of course, those days were totally different days.
Oh, absolutely. And social media is going to be the death of this civilization and AI.
Right.
It is coming. These kids, they depend on what someone is saying to them. I had a long text message chain with someone today that thought they were going to get into a back and forth with me. And I was like, tell me what Donald Trump has done. Show me what Charlie Kirk has done that caused him to lose his life, that you could justify even attempting to take his life. Just show me. And no one can tell you that. They'll pull up news clips from, you know, CNN or someone like that that's putting an opinion out, The View or one of them. They're the damn devil. I mean, they do not want to see us succeed. They do not want to see us be prosperous. They do not want to see any success in this country. And that is what terrifies them since the Charlie Kirk death, is the country, the conservatives, the Christians, the evangelicals. We are all saying enough's enough. Mormon, Protestant, Catholic, Christian, it's every one of us is saying
the scary thing is, and I'm gonna say this, I don't have any proof of it, but I'm not stupid and I can see the writing on the wall. You got guys like George Soros and world organizations, and a lot of upper corporate Americans, corporate CEOs that really want to see the destruction of the country. I mean, they want to see, you know, and that's the scary part. They don't want peace. They want, I mean, a lot of these folks want, I mean, you know, George Soros, he has said it. And I don't know why people deny that he's this way. He has actually said, you know, that he wants the downfall of capitalism in the whole world. He wants to see a world order. You know,
Obama was the same way. Obama
absolutely. You know, there was a picture of him boarding Marine One, had Life After America, something like that. You know, I mean, it's like he had plans on. He helped I tell you what, that man did a lot of damage. You're talking about division.
Mhm.
I don't remember a lot of division before he was president. I don't remember there was, yes, conservative, liberal division.
I've
Black
never
and
been
white
more mad at a
division,
man over a cup. I remember that one time he
black
saluted
and
the
white,
Marine
I
officers
didn't
with
see
a
it.
cup.
I didn't see it. He made it.
Well, and with Donald Trump's labeling Antifa a terrorist organization, the George Soroses, these BLM activists, and let's just call them all what they are. They are all terrorist organizations. They are all hate organizations. They have done nothing in their communities. I haven't seen them rebuild one building, give any money to a business owner that had their stores robbed or looted. I haven't seen them pay for a funeral of anyone that was killed during all this stuff. And they're calling us, the evil ones right now. Well, you're the ones that are doing everything. We just don't do this. We're praying for Charlie. We're having vigils for Charlie. We're not burning our cities down. We're not looting our merchants. We're saying we've had enough. But no, the narrative that you're going to see on TV is that we are trying to separate a nation while we're praying. They do not want to see Christians band together, because there's one thing that you're not going to take from any of us, and that's our faith. As soon as you start attacking our faith and trying to remove our faith, that's it. That you have crossed the line, and that's what's happening right now. And our kids, we got away from faith for a long time, and Charlie Kirk pulled our kids back to that faith base, and they can't stand it right now, because when you have a base of faith, you're unshakable. You're not worried about dying tomorrow, because you're going to the promised land. You're going to where Charlie Kirk's at, and that's where you want to be at the end, when this all is over with, and this life we live of flesh ends, and our soul moves to heaven. That's what we're all working toward. And they don't like it that our children's there.
And we're I think unfortunately, I don't mean to be a pessimist, but I think a lot of people, if you ask people, are we fixing to go into some darker times? The majority of the people, since in the recent history, things that have happened, assassination attempts, assassinations, what have you, riots, the far left, it's probably coming. I believe in the theory, the fourth turning theory. I do. I really do. It's been 80 years or so, and some change since World War II. And, all these things happen slowly, after World War II, it started then. And then you had the peace movement, civil rights movement in the 60s, and that really changed our course. And then now, we're kind of at a head now. I feel like that could be good, that could be bad, but we're kind of at a head, and then we'll move on. I just don't see something's going to give, something's going to change. And we got an election coming up in 28. We got an election coming up in 26. And man, I don't even want to think about the election in 28. I don't even want to.
I can tell you right now, I'm gonna call it right now. There's going to be another assassination.
I was saying earlier.
And that assassination is going to happen to somebody that has a big base, because right now everything is looking like conservative. Their killing of Charlie Kirk has only strengthened the conservative base. And right now, the only way you can waive that, or you can move that in their eyes, is going to be to move the meter by assassinating someone else.
Hey, don't put it past them.
Will be the straw that breaks the camel's back.
Don't put it past them to do a false flag situation.
Oh, I can guarantee it.
To where, they could plug somebody that's on their side to stir up, to say, look what they did now. You got, what was it, Mandami, who's probably going to end up becoming mayor of New York City, which is going to be destroy New York City. That's going to be a total
something
disaster.
Today about that. I forget what it is. There's something going on with him right now that may cause that not to happen. But I was in England.
New York City. I know what you're talking about. Hey,
mayor of London took over, which is a Muslim mayor. And his platform
I mean, they're
was,
going to have a
you know,
civil
I'm
war,
not going to
Chris,
change anything. You know, I have
because
Christian
they are
beliefs. I'm a
soft
Muslim,
about it.
but,
And
you know, I'm not going to change
if you're
anything.
soft
The
about
day
it,
after he got elected, he pulled every picture in the subways down that had a female on it. He started making people cover up. It's happening in the United States. It's in Minneapolis right now. They're trying to build towns in Texas. And everything you hear, and it's not rhetoric. It's their faith. It's their belief. They want to destroy anything that is not a Muslim. We are infidels, and they do not want to see a free society. They want to be able to stone and rock people in the middle of the streets still today. It's just, it blows my mind where we are at as a country and what we have allowed us to become because of afraid of hurting somebody's feelings. It
all right,
that's
I'm going to get Kevin, chime in, baby.
Oh yeah. So I think what you were talking about with the mayor of New York, there's something going on with his immigration that I think they're gonna get him on. I'm not sure. I gotta look that up.
he falsified some documents is what I read today. They posted some stuff today that there's some falsified documents.
He's horrible. He's horrible.
He's insane. But now, one thing I want to say about, we're talking about darker times, we're talking about Civil War. One thing that I want to reiterate here is Civil War is not going to be like it was back in the day.
Oh, no.
No. It's going to be the cities versus the rural area. It's going to be a bunch of splinter cells off all over the place. There's not going to be any battle lines. It's
I
just
actually
going to be
think it'd
guerrilla
be more
warfare.
major cities than,
Yeah.
I have a
is where it
thought
would
on
happen.
that. Well, what we're looking at if we don't turn back from where we're headed right now is not a replay of the U.S. Civil War in the 1800s. What we're moving towards is the Spanish Civil War right before World War II.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hit that.
Good analogy. Yeah.
No one really knows much about the Spanish Civil War.
Well, you need to read up
They
on
barely
it.
flip over.
It'll scare the hell out of you if you read about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. I have read about it.
But I mean,
Tell us a little bit about it, Kevin.
Oh, well, you're going to put me on a spot, ain't you?
Or Brent.
Okay, so I have,
or whoever. Brent, you got a good
Antifa was involved in the Spanish Civil War.
Yes.
And there were volunteers that went over from the United States to fight for Antifa and the Stalinist forces, and they called it the Abraham Lincoln Brigade.
Yes.
There was mass wherever they were able to take power, however briefly. There were mass executions of clergy and anyone who openly proclaimed Christianity. And they were doing purges of anyone of religious faith. Of course, eventually they were defeated. That led to the rise of Francisco Franco. And he ruled them the only way that he had left to. However brutal you are, I'll be 10 times more brutal coming back at you. And Franco was a brutal, but he had to be. Elsewise, Spain would have ceased to exist. It would have been a Soviet satellite.
Well, I don't know if you guys watched this week what happened in Congo they had a Charlie Kirk memorial or memory, and Kevin may be able to pull it up real quick. But look at what happened in Congo this week over them having a memorial or vigil for Charlie Kirk in the Congo. I think there was 100 and something killed. Heck, Brent, I think you and I may have talked about this at the Sunday night one in Little Rock, or maybe when we were in Malvern. Somebody was talking to me about it, and it's just crazy.
And once again, Congo has only a very tiny fraction Islamic population. Islam is only about 2 or 3% of their pop, and yet they're carrying out mass killings there. And so it's,
If somehow this, if by 28's election, if this doesn't get, if not more is done, like Brent was saying, if we keep heading the way we're going, but if you were to get another, if you were to get a Gavin Newsom or any liberal person in there, they'll come back with a vengeance, and then it's going to really get ugly. But I think it's going to be before that. I mean, I think we're going to have a lot more problems before 28, myself, unfortunately. And I don't mean to be, I'm not a pessimist, but I'm telling it like it is, like I see it anyway. I just don't, I've lived a long time. I've seen a lot of things, and I just hadn't seen it like it is.
I
Since
understand what you're
Thursday
saying,
of
but
last week, our world changed in the United States.
Yes.
My perception of the United States has changed. My forgiveness of people has changed. My devotion has changed, and it happened Thursday at 12:30, roundabout. And I think the United States as a whole, perceptions have changed, especially since then, seeing the hate, the absolute hate that people have for Christianity in our own country. Everything that this country stands for is founded on faith. Faith, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. All faith-based. And they just absolutely do not want it.
Brent, what were you going to chime in on?
I want what you said, that you think it's going to come before 28, and I agree. And I'm going to step back with that and say I am thankful now for answered prayer that Donald Trump is the man in power. I don't think there was anyone else on this side who could have handled it like he has, as well as he has. And so, my prayers for his continued safety, because I do believe, God appoints whoever he wills over the kingdoms of men. And he does it for a reason. We don't always know the reason. I believe we can see right now the reason that Donald Trump is where he is right now, and where our nation needs him to be, and because of our place in the world where the rest of the world needs him to be also. And so I am hopeful. I am hopeful.
I am too. But, God doesn't always answer our prayers in our time, or doesn't answer our prayers in our time. He answers them in his time. And it doesn't mean it's not going to get better. But, we've let things, we haven't kept our house clean. And I think maybe, I think God does have his way of saying, you know what, guys, you're going to have to get yourself together here. And it's not going to be pleasant, baby. Now I do have the optimism that we will prevail into a better country, but I think we got a lot of pain before we get there. What do you guys think? Your own opinions. I know none of us know anything, but I meant,
No, we do not.
No, we don't. Every day we can go out. I can do my job. I can help other people. I can be at church. I can build up other people there, and just keep doing my responsibilities every day. And those little, if we all do those little things, those add up. And
Charlie's death's a message that you guys aren't listening.
Yeah,
because he was given the message that we need. Yeah, I believe that. Charlie Kirk was really the only one totally given the message that we need. And we weren't. Some of us were listening, not enough. We're listening now, but, or some still aren't listening. They're making, you hear a lot of people will talk just because it's, on the bandwagon. Mm-hmm. But,
I got something to say on that. So Charlie Kirk, he woke a lot of people up. I got a video here that I want you guys to watch. I've seen a lot of them over the thing, but this is the one that got me.
Okay.
Make sure my sound is on.
I don't come from any kind of money, and I've never owned a suit before. My wife, she bought me this suit. Our anniversary's coming up, and we have a nice anniversary plan. You know, we make a little bit of money now, and I'm proud to say that because that's certainly not where either one of us comes from. And I feel good in this suit, man. And I just want my wife to know she made me feel good. It's a $300 suit. I ain't never had nothing like this before in my life. And I tell you what, okay, video flip here, so I'm gonna lose some of you. I didn't know Charlie Kirk, never met that guy before in my life. And something else that I've never done before in my life is believe in God. I'm gonna wear this suit to church. I'm gonna go to church. I'm going to try to be a better father, husband, and leader for my family. They deserve that. My phone fell down. I guess that's the devil trying to fuck me up or mess me up right now. I'm gonna try, y'all. Look at this suit. I look good, bro. My wife made me feel this way. Charlie's made me feel this way. Yeah, message over.
That is what Charlie did right there. He don't even know the man. He never
And
saw
that's
a
one
video,
person.
and he never went to church, and he's going now. That is the effect Charlie Kirk had
On many people. That's just one of millions.
I mean, that's just amazing right there. You never even
Mike,
heard of the guy.
you're muted, Mike. You're muted.
No, it's not your mic. I muted you.
Oh,
I muted you, Mike.
you gotta mute Mike. If you don't mute Mike,
He walked away, and I kind of heard some noise from his mic, so I went ahead and muted it. You're still not talking yet, boss. Got to press the button.
well,
He laughing at us.
you know, we're at the times now that only God can save this country now. It's out of our hands. I mean, I say that we still got to do our part. We got to do our part, but it's beyond our. It's really out of control.
It's a really old saying. We got to pray like it all depends on God, and we got to work like it all depends on us.
Well, guys, Brent, you got him. You don't have to say what they are. You got some adventures planned coming up on your battles and cages.
I couldn't get by without them. It's what gets me up in the morning.
We're gonna have you on again when you get. You're a courageous journalist. You really are. Not many local ones around here are doing what you're doing. Not that I know of. Not on the conservative side. I don't. But you're doing good work. It's brave to do that, man. I mean, those people can hurt you. It can hurt you.
I will give Doc Washburn has been really supportive of me. I'll give a shout out. He has been really supportive, and I appreciate that. So I'll put that out there.
Well, you keep plugging, and what's your coordinates that you want to put out there for folks, just if they want to look at your stuff?
Just at Real Okrahead on X, and everything I get, I'll put on there.
Okay. And we know Mike. He gonna let everybody know where he is.
Yeah. Hey, Mike, press the actual unmute on your Zoom.
Yeah, you're muted.
No, it's not. It's on your. It's not on your end. It's the mute on the Zoom. Oh wait, it's on his phone.
All right, you got me?
I got you, boss. I got you.
That's the quietest I've heard you in a long time.
If Kevan stopped muting me.
I asked you to unmute a long time ago. I forgot you're using your phone. You can't do it from your laptop.
Yeah. No, I keep doing what I'm doing. I'll keep doing the podcast, here and there, ever so often. But Sunday there's going to be a prayer vigil in Garland County at the courthouse there in Hot Springs. I think it's at 7 o'clock. For those that hasn't been able to attend a prayer vigil, I'll tell you what, they've moved me. The ones that I've gotten to watch and the ones that I've got to attend, and the kids that are at these. I mean, I'm speechless. The people that show up and the youth. I just truly do not believe people realize how many people Charlie touched, and it's not in the millions; it's in the billions.
He won't be forgotten.
There's no way he'll be forgotten.
And his wife, I don't know if y'all saw her.
Well, she's the new CEO and chairman now.
Well, I tell you what, that's a courageous woman there. That's to stand up. She was sad. She was humble, but she was mad too.
I think she's past mad.
And she's gonna, she's not gonna let this. She said that. If you think you're killing this, you got another thing coming. So it's going to be interesting. Things change every day. I say this every week when we have a show. Things change every day. And Kevin, you got
talk
any
about
closing?
She's not going to let it end. Oh, Ben Shapiro and Mike Knowles and I think Crowder's getting back into it. Everyone's taking up the mic right now.
Awaken the sleeping giant.
Yeah,
it's awake. It's awake.
Oh yeah, so it was 32,000 new chapters and new members have joined Turning Point now.
Well, batten down the hatches, folks, because I know these. I don't think these folks are going to give up because they got a lot of money behind them and they do have a lot of international power. I mean, there's a lot of power behind these folks that are, I'm gonna call our enemies. And I'm sick of Antifa, and I'm sick of these assassinations. I'm just sick of it. It's just if they don't put forth Tyler Robinson to the firing squad in Utah, I'm gonna be disappointed. I hate to say. I know that's not a real Christian thing for me to say. I'm sorry. I apologize, but that's where he needs to be in front of. And I don't know. Oh, I want to say something before we go. Has anybody watched the sheriff of Washington County, Utah, do his press conference yesterday? I couldn't make it through it. What is that about? What is this kindness crap he's talking about? Did you hear him?
I guess I didn't see this.
That he made a deal with the parents to bring him in, or they had a mediator in the church, his Mormon church, to bring him in peacefully, but he had these conditions first. And that was to be treated well. He was afraid he's going to be shot. Oh my God. He's afraid he's going to be shot, or he's afraid he's going to be mistreated. So the sheriff made it. Yeah. He made a point to say how well they treated this guy, and I was sick. It made me sick at my stomach. A sheriff, and he was smug about it. Even it's like, oh, we don't treat people, And of course, his father, being a retired deputy sheriff detective, probably helped us, helped him negotiate this thing. I don't care. I don't care if he's doesn't have any water. I don't care if he's comfortable. I don't care about any of that. I don't want to hear it. It really angered me.
He's a murderer.
Yeah. Did you watch it, Mike?
I watched it.
Yeah. Your stomach.
Yeah.
I was sitting there I can't believe I haven't heard, there hadn't been more outcry about this interview. It was terrible.
Up until that point, I had thought the Washington County Sheriff had done a really good job on everything. But then to hear that and what they were willing to do, which, look, I'm glad they got him in custody. that dude was going to be found. It just that he was not hiding.
Here in Arkansas, they knocked down the door of an airport manager because he had weapons and murdered him. And then they're going to.
It was a freebie. That's all I can
here,
say.
buddy.
You just heard a whole nother show.
Yeah, I know. I just wanted to mention that. If anybody hadn't seen it out there, watch it. I mean, it may not bother you. It bothered me. Brent?
I haven't seen it yet.
Well, watch it.
Now.
It's disgusting to me. I'm not saying that they needed to, I'm not going to. There was no reason to negotiate for him to come in.
It was a
if
freebie.
they need to
That's
raid
what it
his
sounds
home
like.
to get him. That's what they do with everybody else. I guarantee you that's what they would do with you and me.
Yeah, I guarantee it. They're probably scared, and also they're like, "Oh, look, it's in our lap. Let's just take it."
Anyway, I guess that's enough for this show. But I appreciate Brent. I appreciate you coming on again. I love your work. Keep up the courageous work you're doing in the journalism world. Mike, you keep everybody good and mad.
Hey, wait. I just want to say something real quick for the haters out there. I want y'all to know that Brent, he is qualified. He don't have to say nothing on that, but he's qualified.
Yeah, you had that addressed to you. That basically called him a fly-by-night non-journalist, but that's not true.
Well, I'll fly by night.
Yeah, it's fine. But anyway, we're going to get hit on this stuff. That's going to happen. There's haters out there. They're going to be haters. And anyway,
hey, Brent, start calling me when you go to these things, and I'll show up with you. I bet you don't get pushed down no more.
You know what? Be careful what you offer.
I will.
Be careful.
Hey, old Mike's been there too. They've yelled at him a couple times and gotten his face.
Yeah, I'm going to get with you on that.
Guys, it's been great, and I appreciate you, Mike, coming on again. Appreciate you, Brent. Appreciate you, Kevin, putting all this together.
Yes, sir.
So, till the next time, Saline County is out.